Hey everyone, this is Ultra Runner. Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to just kind of touch base with you guys on, I guess, the firestorm that this new Rodimus Prime is kind of sparking in the community. And I brought out a couple figures here just because I wanted to, while I'm talking to you guys, kind of podcasting this style, just wanted to kind of have some stuff out here for you guys to see, but also use these as reference. So there's been some discourse recently, and I think part of it is, part of it is being stated. Some people are frustrated that G1 is getting so much love. Basically, this new Rodimus Prime is going to be a brand new mold, and it's been confirmed by the Hasbro team. And everybody who is non-G1 is basically up in arms. Like, why is G1 getting so much love? It's time for them to go. This is horrible. Won't they stop making G1? They need to focus their time on other lines like Armada or Animated or Cyber World or any of those other things like IDW comics, whatever the case might be. And so I was thinking, okay, I was like, so what's the other alternative? Right now G1 is really hot, but it's not just hot with Hasbro mainline. It's hot with third party. It's hot with third-party masterpieces. Is hot with other companies who are licensed like Blockies and Yellow Park, and so the question is, even Lego with their new Squarehead or Big Head or whatever they're called, so there's a ton of companies out there that are focusing on G1, and that's not really G1 collectors' fault. I guess you can kind of say it is, because if people are making it and buying it, but they're not making it because they want to make it. They're making it because some people are going to buy it. Like the Super 7 here. This is actually a Magic Square Ultra Magnus that just came out recently. This is a Funko Pop that's been out for a bit. This is my Takara Masterpiece Ultra Magnus here. And I do have the Delta Magnus right there. And then you've got the SS86, mini masterpiece, Ultra Magnus, Blockies, and just like a third-party non-posable figure, and then Dr. Wu here. But the thing is, so you've got so many different variants of the G1 style. Could they have made anything else? Absolutely. But why are they doing G1 and G1 so hard? There's a couple different reasons. One, G1 sells. Because, a lot of people who are complaining about G1 or, didn't grow up in the 80s and watched the cartoon live on television or watched the movie live. But those people, their kids, actually watched the movie. So somebody like me who has adult children, they actually watch G1 Transformers. Yeah, do they watch, other stuff too? Of course, and they didn't grow up with it as much as far as it being live like I did, but they still like it and appreciate it. The Bayverse, the 2007 movie, was big for, a lot of you guys who are younger. And so I can definitely see why you want representation from your childhood. But to be fair, this is not the time for that, and, I know there's a lot of YouTubers out there who are, kind of happy the fact that they're not giving love to anything else. But for me, I think everybody should get what they want. But at the end of the day, these companies are companies, and their job is to be dedicated to your shareholders. And if you make something that is going to sell, you're fulfilling your actual legal obligation to your shareholders, because your job as a company is to do the best thing you possibly can for your shareholders, not for your customers. Now, of course, you have to make great product for your customers to buy it. And if they do that, then you make your shareholders happy. So there is, a fine line you have to walk. But at the end of the day, G1 is really what sells. And I think the hard thing for me and to understand with this whole Rodimus Prime being a new mold and, that's terrible. Did you guys not forget who this guy here is? This is, let me pull him on here. This is the SS86, come on, focus, Ultra Magnus. If you have not played with this guy, he is absolutely stellar. front to back, no issues at all. This, and I have the Masterpiece, which I think this one actually looks better than the Masterpiece. I do have the Fan Toys version, but right now he's actually being custom painted. So, but this is stellar, like hands down, no question at all. So, Takara, Hasbro took a Takara mold and basically downsized it. You know, and man, that light pipe in this one up super cool right now. It's kind of nice. But they took a Masterpiece figure, downsized it, fixed some of the issues. Yes, he's got wide shoulders, but honestly, I like my Ultra Magnus kind of broad. That's just what it is. I think it looks cool that way. But at the end of the day, you've got a great figure that was because Hasbro decided to make a completely new mold. Oop. Got a little bit of a collision here. Now, why is that a problem? Well, the problem is because somebody else wants that to be something for Armada or something for Energon. And I mean, let's be real, they're running out of G1 stuff. I mean, we're getting G1 stuff left and right. So I'm sure the listings, you know, I don't really pay attention to the league listings because I don't think it's that big a deal. I mean, a confirmation is a little different about what something's going to look like. And we know Rodimus is coming eventually because they're going to do the whole 86 line. And I think the goal is to have it done by the end of 2027. So they're going to run out of G1 movie figures pretty quickly. So this is not like this is a 2030 or 2032 kind of thing. This is 2027. And then at that point, they're going to decide, okay, where do we go from here? This is when you're going to start seeing probably things like from Armada really start to pick up, things from Animated. You know, IDW is probably going to start popping up. You know, I'd love them to go to like Prime. I think Transformers Prime is, besides G1, is my absolute favorite. I adored it. You know, and I like the movies and things like that. I'm not a huge Bayverse fan, but I did enjoy them. It's not like I went there and was like, oh, you know, get me out of here. But at the end of the day, you know, G1 is really where my bread and butter is, and that's all I really collect. I do have some more for Cybertron stuff but let's be real, that stuff was just basically G1 with a little more detail. But for the most part, you know, I only collect G1. Doesn't mean I don't like other Transformers lines or Transformers figures. That's just not what I collect. I mean, I collect a ton of Hot Toys. Got one right here on my desk. Got some right there. Just because I like Star Wars and I don't have a Han Solo doesn't mean I don't like Star Wars. It just means I don't like Han Solo enough to have a figure, a $304 figure of him. You know, and you know, the other thing I want to talk to you through was the mega complaint is about mainline. But like I started off the video talking about, what about all the other companies that make Transformers? How many blockies do you see that are not G1? Oh, wait. Okay, like basically none, okay. And how many Masterpiece figures from Takara, which no longer makes that anymore, so you have now MPG. How many MPG figures have they released that are not G1? I'll wait again. So these companies are picking G1 specifically. You can be upset about it. You can whine and complain about it. I mean, you guys know, there's that YouTuber who loves to say that he loves all Transformers, and the first thing he likes to do is bash G1 collectors and G1ers. If you collect G1 solely, then you know you're horrible and you're not a real Transformer fan. But you know, and in the same breath, you know, will just kind of bash us. So, but as a G1 fan, you know, I'm a Transformers fan from the start. I mean, there you go. Got the Transformers movie poster right there on my wall. And right here, I have, let me get a little closer here. That is the original 1986 comic book. The first issue, which had, of course, my boy on it, Ultra Magnus. So, I'm a little bit more than a Transformers fan. So, but at the end of the day, most G1ers are. And so that's really kind of how this is playing out. And it's really weird because we're about to get into a spot, and when I say we as Transformers collectors, where the figures that are being made are getting better and better. Now, are they cutting corners on some stuff? Yes. But if you're a G1 collector and you're concerned about Rodimus Prime not being a good looking figure, yes, Astrotrain is kind of a mess. Nobody's going to the new SS86 Astrotrain. Nobody's going to even remotely say this guy is exactly what we're looking for. But remember what started off this line that made everybody just blown away? It was Hot Rod. And Hot Rod was a mini masterpiece. Look at the Dinobots. The Dinobots were not a miss. Ultra Magnus, brand new from the ground up. You know, essentially, because even some of his transformation, even though a lot of it is compression style like the masterpiece here, it's not the exact same thing. Insanely good, incredible piece, absolutely worth every penny. And remember, this guy was going for like $225, $250 on the aftermarket because he sold out so quick and people couldn't get their hands on him. And now, you know, I think he's more readily available, but I don't think there's a ton of them out there. But in the day, you know, the more we do other figures, the better opportunity is for the newer stuff that's going to come out down the road to just be even better. So honestly, people who are waiting on Prime and Armada and Animated and IDW and all those guys are going to be eating good because all the kinks are being worked out here. Because you think you're going to make another mistake like Astrotrain again? Probably not. But honestly, you can't fault them for one. They thought this would be a good idea, and you look at what they've done with everything else. Like I said again, Optimus Prime, Megatron, that new Megatron, which is a tank that looks just like his animation accurate version. Like, how can you just knock that at all? I mean, how do you look at something like this and go, oh, hey, this is terrible. Why'd they make a new mold? The old one was fine. The old one wasn't fine. Soundwave, you know, he's better, but he's still not great. The Seekers, the new Seeker mold, stellar. You know, the cassettes, they've done a good job with. Nothing be super, you know, blown away by. But here, this Hot Rod. I mean, that was really the birth of people just really being impressed with SS86. And the fact that they recolored him and didn't have to re-engineer him at all. Dinobots here, same thing. Mini masterpiece figures. You know, some retooling here and there, you know, Cup, you know, Springer, Blur, Perceptor. So some of these were not absolutely like brand new pieces, but the ones that were brand new pieces, and even though people give this Bumblebee a lot of hate, I actually like him. I think he's fine. I mean, yeah, could he be better? Yeah, but I mean, he could also be worse. He could be Astrotrain, let's be real. But SS86 Prime, you know, these guys, you've got Brawn and, you know, Windcharger. So we have a ton of just great examples of when they don't miss. So we shouldn't really give them a hard time about what they're going to do at Rodimus, because I'm pretty confident Rodimus is going to be pretty awesome. And for those who are waiting for G1 to get out of here so you can get to your stuff, that's not going to be long either. I mean, you got just even the leak list, in which I don't like that really follow, but a lot of the other YouTubers do. You can see there's few and far G1 characters being made because honestly, just running out of them. I mean, because the SS86 movie really has, when you go to 84, other than repaints, what are you going to do with Megatron? It's going to be the same Megatron. They're not making a new one for 84 line. So, I mean, my whole point is just make sure that you guys, if you're into this collecting thing, truly into this collecting piece, you can collect what you like. I don't think there's any issue at all with anybody being a collector, a lover of Transformers and only a collector of one line, you know. But for those who don't feel that way, hey, you know, that's you, and move on with your life, I guess. But everybody's gonna get their time, and hopefully after G1 is done, there'll still be some room for Hasbro to continue make money and do well, because you know, G1's got deep pockets, and everybody wants to say, well, Armada sells as well, and Energon as well, and this, that, and so forth. But for the most part, I don't see it, as if it was the case, they would probably be spending their money or spending their R&D on non-G1 stuff. So, but that's just my thoughts on it. Again, hopefully everybody's going to get what they want, and it looks like that's going to be the case soon. And remember, we all are collectors together. We're all on the same team, so let's just not sit here and bash each other just because we're not getting what we want. Let's get after it. Enjoy this collecting while we can. It should be fun. If it's not fun, then you probably should do something else. All right, that's all I had. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out. Later.